Hello, welcome to Tony's Bonsai. I've got a procumbens nana juniper here, which I picked up cheap from a local garden centre. It looks like it's got some good potential, so I'm going to be working on that. But first, I want to just have a quick update on the same plant, similar plant that I worked on a few months ago. I treated this plant the way that I treat most of my sort of young juniper material, which is try and get inside, remove any obvious problems like inverse taper or very thick branches, and then sort the roots out and then leave it. So I didn't want to cut off too much material because I probably removed, if I remember rightly, I think I removed around 40% of this tree. So I wanted to leave it. It's grown on very nicely, it's doing great, but I've got a couple of things that I do want to just sort out. I've got this branch here and it does seem a bit straggly. It's got a lot of dead material further back, so I think I'll just remove that. The tree comes up from here to the top. This is going to be the new leader, this small branch here. However, I've left all this extension on just to add health and vigour and thickness into the trunk. So I'm quite happy to leave that. And at some point in the future, I'll be removing this whole branch here. I don't want a cascade tree, so this will be removed and this will grow on. So all this is sacrificial. This other side, however, is a different story. These are going to stay, but these are just branches, and I don't want these to become over thick. So as the trunk comes up here, we've got a branch coming forward, and then this is one of the large side branches that I'm talking about, and it's still fairly thin at the moment, but if I leave all this on, it's just going to keep growing and growing, so I'll take that off. This side of the plant's now been really opened up, and it's still going to be a thick branch, and it's got plenty of green left on it, but it won't keep thickening and thickening, because I want the main thickening to happen obviously along here on the main trunk. As for this piece that I've just removed, I'll take some of these lower branches off it, just like this. It's got quite nice interesting movement, this branch, which if it took as a cutting would work really well. I'd like it to kind of sit maybe at that kind of angle, so I'll just dunk that in a rooting hormone, push a hole kind of like that at that angle, and then push it in like that, and I'll just leave that and see what happens. That was just a quick update and a small bit of work that needed doing on that juniper. So now to take a look at this one. I've not really taken a proper look because, again, it was on sale, so I picked it up. It seems like it's got some nice movement underneath, so let's check it out. It's got a couple of dead bits round here, which is probably why it was put on offer. So I can just take these. There's only 2 branches that are dead, and these can just come clean off. There's lots of healthy new extension on this plant, so I've got plenty to work with, but I think I need to have a look underneath and see what's happening. I put my gloves on for this bit because these spines can be quite prickly. So there are 1 or 2 more just dead branches in here that I'll just remove, but there's also lots of sort of dead needles that have fallen off over the years. And the main thing is I seem to have quite a nice trunk. I mean, these lower branches, I would have been removing these anyway. So it really doesn't matter that these had died. because, you know, they'd be going anyway. And we can see straight away we've got quite a nice curving trunk here. So this comes straight over, and there is a branch here that's, although it's going back, this could be bent upwards and used in the composition. We'll have to see. And this naturally appears like it would make a cascading plant, but I don't really want another cascading plant. I'm not a massive fan of cascading junipers. I'm just kind of trying to get a feel really for sort of what's under here, what's happening. And there's a bit more dead stuff, which I'll just remove, just to help me to see a bit clearer and decide, you know, which branches to keep and which to get rid of. So it's a definite cascade. This top branch seems to be broken, so I'll take that off. We've got like a stump, that's interesting. It comes round, bends over, and it seems to split into two. So we've got a lower one and a higher one. And what I'm going to do is, just to make things simple, I'm removing that lower branch. I'll get that out of the way. I'm not particularly interested in adding any gins or anything like that yet. These two could be left as little deadwood features, these stumps. But I kind of like that. This branch up here, as I said, that can come up. And I think it's in at the wrong angle. I think it needs repotting at a different angle. So I'm going to take it out of the pot. So it should come out fairly easily. It does. It's got some nice roots. It's, apart from a couple of dead branches, it's a healthy plant, this. It looks good. And I want to plant this definitely at more like this sort of angle. So I'm taking off this top edge here. Unfortunately, there's no major roots in this section, so I can just take that down like that, just with my hand. If you use your hand, it's a bit more gentle on the roots than using a root hook. So I quite like that there. I think that's got some potential. I don't like this stump. I'm going to get rid of that. So this bit here, where it really dips down, I don't want that. That can go. It was in this size pot, but I think because I put it at a new angle, I don't want to just squeeze it back into this same pot. So I'll use one of my concrete pots, which will do the job nicely. I'll just get rid of that soil. I'm not going to mess with the roots at all. I'm just going to sort of effectively slip pot it. The only thing I will do is, I want it a bit more central. So this edge here, I'll just bring down a bit like that. So I'm not really removing any roots. I'm just taking some of that soil out. It's planted in peat, this. So I remove a bit of that peat, and that can just go there, and that should sit more or less centrally in the pot. I've got a couple of pieces of plaster scrim tape to put over the hole at the bottom, the main drainage hole. Doesn't really stick, obviously, but I can just put it down in position, and when you put some soil on it, that holds it down nicely. I can then place this tree in the pot in a kind of central-ish position. So sitting a little bit high, so I will just take a little bit of soil off the bottom just to lower it in the pot a bit, that's all. Nothing major. Oh, that's better. Much better, yeah. Happy with that. I don't want to really go mad messing with these roots. I've done enough to get it into this pot, but I don't want to start, you know, really exploring and properly sorting the roots out. And they will need sorting at some point, but I don't think now's the time. I've said in previous videos, I really prefer to just do sort of one job at a time if I can, be it pruning or wiring or the roots, or possibly two, but I definitely don't like to do everything in one go. I think it just stresses the plant, especially root work, and I like that. I think that's got some potential. What do you think? Quickly just apply a bit of cut paste onto these major cuts there. There was only two. And from here now, we can kind of see the new shape. So we've got some nice movement options with these branches going forward. Not, as I say, I'm not going to apply any wire now, but in the future I'll definitely wire these branches and start to develop this into a future bonsai. So I'm really happy with how that's worked out. Not bad for a £5. It's a great time of year in the UK to be picking up cheap material from garden centres and have a go yourself. Get yourself something like this. Don't go too crazy on it. You know, don't think you have to do everything at once. I won't really be doing anything on this now, I suspect, for until next summer, when I'll apply some wire to start putting these branches in the right place. So thanks for joining me. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.